Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today I wanted to do a second trimester recap video for you. And for those of you who follow me on Instagram, thank you guys for sending in questions for me. I didn't really know all the stuff that I was going to cover in this video, so you guys helped me a lot to figure out what you guys want to hear and some questions that you had for me. So in this video I'm basically just going to be talking about my experience with my second pregnancy, comparing it to my first, and all kinds of different things. So I guess we can just kind of jump into it. Okay, so I'm going to start out with this question, and it's actually from my sister. Thanks, Abby, for sending this question. I love you too. It says, she's asking what my favorite part about being pregnant is. So I thought about this one, and there's a lot of things that I love about being pregnant, as hard as it is. I would say my top thing would have to be just feeling the baby inside of you is just amazing. That feeling I'll just never get over. And just experiencing life inside of you is just incredible. So I'd say that's my favorite part, is feeling movements and kicks and all that stuff. Okay, next question. How many more children do you want, and what sort of birth do you want for baby number 2? So this is actually 2 questions, and I've gotten the birth plan question a couple times. So firstly, how many children do we want? We kind of go back and forth. Initially, before we had any babies, we always talked about 4 kids being a very good number. And since we've had Sky, and since we're having this baby, we kind of go back and forth. For our 3rd baby, if we'd have a boy, we may be content with just having 3. But I feel like I'm probably going to have baby fever after we have our 3rd baby, and I'll probably want to just have a 4th one. So it'll most likely end up being 4, even though right now I'm thinking it might be 3 too. So we'll see. Do I still get morning sickness? So I have been so fortunate with both of my pregnancies, where even in my first trimester, I honestly did not experience much morning sickness at all, as long as I was making sure that I'd eat within a certain amount of time. So with my first daughter, I would have to eat like as soon as I woke up in the mornings. Otherwise, if I didn't eat within a certain window of time, then I would make myself super sick, and then it would make it so much harder for me to eat. However, I was never to where I was like throwing up every day and stuff like that. Like there would be certain things that would trigger some of my like my gag reflex if I'd be brushing my teeth in the mornings and stuff like that. But otherwise, I'm very fortunate with this pregnancy also, where I didn't experience a lot of morning sickness at all. So, which is really crazy, because they say when you have a girl, typically you're extra sick. So it just really varies from woman to woman. So I'm very fortunate that I haven't been very sick. Okay, another question is, hardest thing about being a mom and being pregnant. I think the hardest thing is probably just like chasing around my 1-year-old. I thankfully in this second trimester I've regained a lot of energy. I'd say my hardest symptom in the first trimester wasn't morning sickness, it was more fatigue. I was just extremely tired all the time. So thankfully I've regained a lot of my energy in this second trimester. But I'd say that's the hardest part about being pregnant with a little baby that can't all the way communicate nearly everything that they will at one point. So I think that's been the hardest thing, is chasing her around and trying to figure out what she's trying to communicate to me. She right now, all she does is just like go and like she'll point to things here and there, but for the most part she has a really hard time like actually communicating. So I feel bad for her, and eventually she'll be better at communicating with us. But yeah, it can be a little frustrating sometimes, because she makes that noise for everything, and then it's hard to know for sure what she's trying to tell us. So hi honey, you want to say hi?
What's up?
Alright, we're gonna reset here. Damar lost his wallet and I needed to help him find it. So, I found it. The next question is, what is my birth plan for this baby? For those of you who don't know, I had an unmedicated birth with my first daughter. That was planned. I really wanted to just experience and feel every part of labor, and so I was very thankful that there was nothing scary that happened in labor, or there wasn't any like emergency, anything that happened. So I was able to have that unmedicated birth with Sky. And with this baby, I also plan to go into this birth naturally and also unmedicated. So with having that first experience, I think it was honestly incredible. It sounds crazy, I know, but I only had my husband in the room when I had Sky, and he was the absolute best support person ever. I feel like I'd still be there, like, in labor if Damar wasn't with me that day. He was so good with coaching me through breathing and just like trying to relax as much as I could through every contraction, and he just kept me focused on everything that I was doing and what my body was doing. So that was like an incredible bonding experience that we had together, and I look back on that, and as hard as that experience was, being in labor and like pushing out a child, whew, I look back on it fondly because I feel like we grew so much closer together over that time, and so I'm really, really excited to have hopefully the same experience with this second baby. Hoping for a natural birth, but if it comes down to me having a medicated one, I'm not going to worry about it at all. Okay, another question is, how have your pregnancies been different? I would say the first thing that pops in my head when I read this question is my appetite with this pregnancy is completely different than it was with my first daughter. Even though I wasn't sick with Sky either throughout my second trimester, I was extremely stressed out over a multitude of different things. One being coronavirus. Coronavirus had like just started to kind of break out by the time I was, I want to say like 32 weeks or so. So I was really stressed out about that. And then, little backstory, we were also looking for a home over that time, and we never ended up finding a home, and we had to live with my parents and Damar's mom for a couple months. And so we lived with my parents for about 4 months after my daughter was born, while we were waiting for the house that we're in now to be built. So that added a lot to the stress of my pregnancy, and I feel like that played into why I didn't have much of an appetite with my first daughter. So with this pregnancy, that has been completely different. I have not had a whole lot of stress at all. So my appetite has been very hearty. I'm able to eat pretty much anything. I don't have like any food aversions where I feel like not hungry for certain things. Like I can just eat really whatever. Just eating is a win for me for this pregnancy. So next question is, do we have a name picked out? And yes, we do. And I'm so excited to share that with you guys. We'll most likely do a video after she's born of the name reveal. So I just recently ordered name signs for both of the girls, and oh my gosh, they turned out so cute. So cute. Better than I even thought they were going to turn out, so I'm very excited to hang those. And this goes into my next question actually, and it is whether or not the girls are going to be sharing the same room. As of now, we're going to plan on having them in the same room at some point. With Sky, we room shared with her until she was about 6.5, 7 months. So we plan to do the same thing with this baby. We're gonna just have to like play it by ear and see how Sky is sleeping and how this baby's sleeping, and we'll just kind of have to see once how it goes. But I'm gonna put the nursery together as if they're gonna be sharing a room. So it's gonna be super cute, and I'll definitely be doing a nursery tour also once that is finished. So that's at like the top of my list right now. I can't wait to have all the things to put that together. I feel like I'm in full-on nesting mode right now, and since we didn't have a house with my first daughter, I'm just like, I'm in my glory having the space and being able to like plan it all out and hopefully be able to have it set up by the time she's here. So yeah, what am I most excited about with this second baby? I'm just excited to have a fresh baby. Even though Sky's only a year old, I feel like I just really rushed her growing up. I really worried about her a lot when she was first born because of how tiny she was. Like, I kind of rushed it and I didn't just like enjoy her size and enjoy her being a fresh baby. And so I think that's what I'm most excited for, is just to really like enjoy her littleness and her babiness. So I'm very excited for that. And I'm also really excited to see how Sky is going to respond to this baby. That was another question actually, is has Sky paid any interest to my belly, or like has she felt movement and stuff? And I have tried to like grab her hand when I feel this baby move, but it just hasn't been timed right. As soon as I grab her hand, it's like this baby knows when anybody else's hand is there, and she's like, it's not mom, so I'm gonna stop moving. She really pays attention to my belly button. Like, she'll see how it pokes out and she'll like poke it. So that's the only thing that she's really like done that I've noticed. She's still so young. I don't think she has any idea what's about to come. So we've been trying to teach her to be like gentle with babies, and my mother-in-law bought her the cutest little baby with a crib and like a blanket and a bottle. And every now and then I'll pull it out, or like I'll tell Sky, go get your baby, go get your baby. And she'll go grab it and bring it to me. And I try to teach her to like just be soft with the baby, and because she's crazy. Sky is crazy. If she's around people that she's comfortable with, she loves to be the life of the party, runs around and screams dada all the time. She also like flops herself on her blanket or like stuffed animals. If she sees anything fuzzy, she'll just like dive on it. So that's partially why I'm like, okay, we need to teach her to be gentle, because she just throws her head around, and yeah, that's dangerous for a baby, for a newborn. So we're working on that. But speaking of, I think she's waking up. I'm going to probably answer one more question and then I'm going to wrap it up. Okay, this is actually a good question. Do you ever doubt the name you picked once you settle on one? Yes, actually. So with Skylar's name, we had it picked out forever, it felt like. Even when we were engaged, we had always talked about how we loved the name Skylar for a girl. And crazy coincidence, our wedding coordinator's name is Skylar, and that was actually the first girl that I had ever met named Skylar, and we were like, it's a sign, like, we for sure have to use the name Skylar now. But by the time we had Sky, or Skylar, I was questioning it so much. Since we had the name picked out for so long, I was like, shoot, maybe we should have taken some other names into consideration. But DeMar was so set on the name Skylar Rain, and I wanted him to have his Skylar Rain. So now that her name is Skylar Rain, and we did end up going with that, I love that we can call her Sky. I think it's super cute, and it'll be interesting to see what she'll want to go by when she is older, and what she'll call herself when people ask what her name is. So yeah, I'm hoping that with this baby that won't happen to me, because we are like super set on her name already, and now I've already, like I said, ordered her name sign. So I don't think there's really any going back now that we have that name sign picked out or made. So I'm sure that I'll still love the name by the time she's actually here. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. But that is going to wrap it up for today's video. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you really enjoyed it. And I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. And both of mine and Damar's social medias will be linked down below. So if you haven't followed us on Instagram already, you can go ahead and do that also. Yeah, thank you again for watching, and we will see you in our next video. Bye, guys.